Tony Gonsolin's back from the IL. Hunter Goodman is back on a heater. Who are we going to add this weekend? You're going to find out that and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we are your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew Ane. If you're watching on YouTube, click the bell below to subscribe to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. Also, please do me a favor. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're getting your podcast audio, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps out the show. And also make sure to click that subscribe button as well. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. And okay, look, we're here. We're rocking. We're rolling. I can't believe we're in week 5, and I'm super excited. So look, let me lay out how this show is going to go. I got bats up first. I got 5 awesome bats that I think we need to add this week, whether for different purposes, things like that, but guys that are widely owned. And then I got some pitchers that either we could start this weekend or for some long-term play and future outlook on with some question marks surrounding Tony Gonsolin, which you're going to have to wait for the second half of the show. So let's get into it. Let's start off with our bats. We're going to start off with Andy Page of the LA Dodgers, 24% owned. And quite honestly, I'm loving it right now. I want to stream him absolutely everywhere and ride this wave until he pretty much falls off. So far on this week, 7 runs, 3 bombs, 7 ribs, 3 stolen bases, batting a whopping 600. Over the last 2 weeks, 10 runs, 4 bombs, 11 ribs, 3 stolen bases, batting 487. Look, this is a heater. I don't really think that, quite honestly, he's going to have long-term value, but while he's hot, I'm going to take this value all day. He went from, being ranked kind of low in the I think the 300s all the way up to 86th overall and head-to-head roto leagues 5x5 categories. And quite honestly, Andy Page just needs to be there. I don't think the powers are legit. I don't think his production is sustainable whatsoever, but again, why not ride out this hot hand? Because man, that's the whole purpose of getting on it and kind of just how do you win weeks? It's that simple, right? So adding Andy Page improves your team, makes your production output way higher. So add him immediately. That's Andy Page of the LA Dodgers. And oh my God, I forgot to take off my glasses. There we go. So let's keep it moving. I got Hunter Goodman of the Rockies here. And he's another one. We've been talking about him nonstop. He's actually just been going. So this past week, 6 runs, 2 bombs, 6 ribs, 346 batting average. He cranked a home run yesterday. He's looking really good. Now, season numbers aren't atrocious. He's still batting 266, has 5 home runs, including the 2 that he got this week. But I'm not mad at it. He also has catcher and outfield eligibility, and he's sitting at 35% owned. Look, there's catchers out there that are not performing, right? Like you look at the Contrerases, you look at the Real Mutos, you look at all these guys that really just haven't returned on their draft price. Which, hey, if you listen to us, draft season, that we said don't draft an early catcher because there's going to be guys out there. Hey, Hunter Goodman, I don't know if he's going to have full season availability, full season value, but for the immediate future, absolutely. And he's been pretty good. I mean, he's been better than most of those catchers out there. So I'm adding him almost everywhere. Plus he has first base eligibility. So that corner infield, slot, catcher, 2 catcher leagues, he needs to be added. 35% owned is actually absolutely bonkers to me. If you're one of those guys that have the Contrerases that aren't performing and such, you still add him. Don't drop Contreras. He's just a guy that you're going to have to be patient with. You spent a high pick on, so you have to keep him, unfortunately, and you can't really trade him away because you're going to get pennies on the dollar. So add Goodman, stream him until Contreras figures it out, and then move on. Then you can drop Goodman unless he's really rocking and rolling. Then you can decide on what you're going to do. Maybe he's a sell high, but ultimately he needs to be added because if this heater continues and it keeps building off of this, it's going to be wonderful. So add Hunter Goodman immediately. We got Gavin Lux up next of the Cincinnati Reds, which it's so weird to say. Him coming off the Dodgers is just bonkers to me, but he's been really good. Over the last 2 weeks, 10 runs, a bomb, 7 ribs, batting 472. This week, he has no home runs, but he's he has 3 runs, no home runs, 3 ribs, and batting 533. It's a matter of time before we start seeing a little bit of power and a little bit of stuff from him because quite honestly, one, we all know that a guy can hit. We're waiting to see what he can do, truthfully, if he can really turn it around. He has an average exit velocity about like 89.7 miles an hour, which is the same as Luis Robert, who still hit 38 home runs in that one year. And he's hitting in Great American Hitter Park quite often. So there's a bonus there. He's creating hard contact 44% of the time. Launch angle is absolutely beautiful, sitting at 43%. He's not really chasing, he's not really whiffing, and he's walking like a beast. So way I'm approaching him is he is a must add. He has second base and outfield eligibility. And if he can just turn it on even a little bit, get the power, get enough power, get that over the fence, which again, a Great American Hitter Park, that's an all day kind of type deal. We're going to see something special. The batting average has just been incredible over this last month. I'm totally adding him. I have already at 39% owned. You can't really pass up on that value. Um, Gavin Lux is an interesting one. Was a high end prospect back in the day before, he got dodgered and just not really able to live up to the hype. But man, if he can even just show a little bit of what he did in the minors, maybe it just took leaving the Dodgers to do so. Maybe this is a Michael Bush situation. It's a different story entirely. You know, when he was in the minors in 2019, he did have 26 home runs. Do I think that power upside is there? No, but if he hits 15 to 20 for the rest of the season, gets you a decent amount of stolen bases and keeps the batting average at 270 plus, I think that that's where we could possibly get that excitement back for Gavin Lux and possibly keep him for a good chunk of the season. Maybe not the whole season, but a good chunk. Uh, and it's crazy. It's already gone up. The ownership percentage that what's on the screen isn't even accurate anymore. It's 41% owned now, and it's just going to continue going up. So add him before you miss out because the heater is just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'd rather be on and I'd rather be on the other owner side than seeing him on the other side on that matchup. So add Gavin Lux now. I promise you're not going to be disappointed. Now, I'm going to sneak in one more bat before the break because it's just too early for it. Josh Jung coming in at 55% owned, and he's actually being dropped more than added, and I don't understand why. I understand he's coming off like a slow start and things like that, but one thing I will say is he is batting 268 on the season. Last 2 weeks batting 213, but this week a 333 through 24 at bats. He has 2 runs, a bomb, 2 ribs, and a stolen base as well. Look, guy's coming off an injury. He was dealing with neck stiffness and things like that. That definitely can affect um your ability to swing and things like that. Look, Josh Jung is a really good player. The dude has 30 to 35 home run power upside. He has the ability to go out and get you the ribs because I actually really like that Rangers team. And he has all the upside in the world. Look, under the hood isn't really displaying what the true story of him is because we look back at it's said that I have to say 2023, but he missed a good chunk of the season last year because of the hand injury, but looked impressive last year even then when he did play. But in 23, the average exit velocity was sitting at almost 92 miles an hour at 91.8. He had a slug at an X slug at 482. His X wOBA was sitting at 337. He was barreling 12% of the time, creating hard contact nearly 50% of the time. But the guy couldn't buy a walk or walk for the life of him. But maybe not the best for points leagues, but he still batted a 266 that year. 2024, even though he only had right under 200 bats, still batted 264 and still managed to have in that small time frame 7 home runs. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a slow start, but that doesn't mean the course can't correct. So I'm adding him and I'm going to be patient with him. If he's out there in leagues, the fact that it's dropping and dropping just means that he's going to be more and more available very soon. And I think you need to add him. You don't want to miss out on it because him on your UT or corner infield spot, that's just going to be a game changer for you when he does turn it on. And he's going to turn it on. I promise you that. So add him now. It's pretty much free 99 for a guy that Dom and I were saying to draft everywhere. So add Josh Jung now. So look, coming up next, I got one more bat for you, and I got a bunch of pitchers that I actually can get into details with. Whether it's Tony Gonsolin, Merrill Kelly, and more. What are their future going to look like? Coming up next. Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all my money go? All the time. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. Which, especially if you're married, it does happen quite often. Um, that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app; it's a complete financial command center. Right? You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you just stop managing your money and start building wealth. When I first started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much I spent on food delivery, which is a lot. Now I budget smarter and I save even more. I manage my money with my partner is smoother and easier and track all shared personal accounts, which it really does. It kind of blends that, right? So it's not like, okay, you're fighting over money anymore. Hey, look, we spent this much. You can clearly see it in front of you. Let's not do this. Let's not make that purchase right now, right? Takes the stress completely away. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code locked on MLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code locked on MLB for half off your first year. Okay, let's get back into it. We got a great second half coming up. So I want to talk about this last bat. Luis Angel Acuna. I totally butchered his last name, but baby Acuna, little Acuna, Acuna's little brother. There is a relation. Not saying he's going to be the next Ronald Acuna. That's just not him. But look, let's dive into it. Right. Plays for New York Mets, is 8% owned, and is looking good these last couple weeks. This last week, let's just say that, right? Acuna is somebody I was saying even coming into the season, hey, he might be a sleeper. I just wasn't sure, hey, if he's going to have, the everyday play. And that's been the question mark. But so far, he's been pretty much playing every day. He's been really good, but available off the bench, even the games he doesn't. He's sitting sometimes against lefties, but I think he's earning the trust of the manager. But I think he needs to be added. He has insane stolen base potential. Okay. That's the one thing that we really haven't seen yet, like in the bigs. But let me just remind you what that was in 2024 in the minors. 40 stolen bases in 2024. In 23, 52. He has speed out the wazoo. He's already hitting 300, and he's a career batting average of 303 between the minors and the bigs because he doesn't have that much of a bigs presence, but he's had 308 seasons, 294 seasons, 315. He's been good. I don't know if the 300 is going to stick around. It's probably going to be more like a 270, 280 hitter, but I'm still good with that. With the stolen base numbers, the Mets look like they're just going to put up like a bajillion runs a game. I mean, gosh, they look good, and Juan Soto hasn't even really been getting going yet. So Acuna has an opportunity to be honest, to really take advantage of, um, you know, of being in that lineup, and being very um, fantasy value. I apologize. I'm also trying to get something else up, but like I think that like quite honestly, you don't want to miss out on this because if he does, continue on this, hitting ninth in the batting order, you know, what that means is he's got Lindor, Soto, and Pete Alonso hitting right after him, when the lineup lines up that way. So a lot of run potential, a lot of stolen base potential. Acuna is just making himself more and more of a necessity in that lineup if he continues like this. And I think we need to add him now because when he does earn everyday play, hitting at the bottom of that lineup with those guys hitting right after him, going the second time through the rotation, dude, that's going to be so much fun. The runs and the stolen bases are just mind blowing. Ribs, probably not that much. Power, probably not that much. I don't think he's got much of that in him, in all honesty. Like, you know, I can't really see it. I mean, his max home run season was 9 and 23, 7 and 24. Like that, I don't think that possibility is there. He's definitely not his brother, even though his average exit velocity is sitting at 90 miles an hour. But it's just not enough for me. I just until he could turn around and say, "Hey, look, I could hit home runs at a quite often rip, especially hitting in Mets ballpark too." Says you know, City Field. I don't foresee it happening. But who knows? Maybe, maybe not. That's an untold, unpredictable future. But I'm adding him literally everywhere because the upside is kind of ridiculous. So add Acuna now. All right, let's switch over to pitching. I think it's time. I teased him at the top. I teased him before the break. Tony Gonsolin finally coming off the IL, already 24% owned, and rightfully so. He has incredible upside. I will say this, like Gonsolin is somebody I was excited to stash. We didn't really bring him up on the stash episode because I wasn't sure what was going on. He also hasn't been the picture of health in a couple of years either. And that's the part that's really like upsetting. But we all remember Gonsolin's 2023 season where he was an absolute, I'm sorry, yeah, 2022 season where he was an absolute force. And we're kind of all just really chasing that, I think, is the biggest thing. So 130 innings, 119 strikeouts, a 2.14 ERA with a .875 whip. Last year, 103 innings was not as great, but also did play injured. Again, never a picture of health, but a guy that I think can go out there and be effective. Last year was his worst year by far in the ERA category. Every year he's been in the bigs and he's only 29 years old, 214, 323, 231, 293. Now, the most innings he's ever pitched in 22, but who knows? Maybe we can get 100, 120 innings out of him and quality innings, and it's a real good time. So you already missed it. He's already starting as I'm recording on Wednesday. He's already started today. But the fact that he's still only 24% owned is mind boggling. Even if he has a rough start, I'm still going out there and I'm adding him. It's just based off of the upside. I'm willing to be patient for a couple weeks just to see if this play can work out in my favor, essentially. So Tony Gonsolin, in my opinion, is truly a must add. So please don't miss out on it. 24% owned. Add him now. Let's move on. Let's talk about Merrill Kelly. Playing for them, Arizona Diamondbacks, 37% owned. It's actually dropped a little bit, but I don't understand why. I'm looking at his overall, outputs over all his starts going back from March 28th. This past one on the 26th, 6 innings, quality start level. Four 4 Ks, a 3 ERA with a .83 whip. And that was against Atlanta. The week before against the Cubs, the Cubs have been smashing 5.2 innings, 5 Ks, a 1.59 ERA with a .53 whip. Then against Miami, which we all light up Miami. I could go out there and light up Miami at this point. 6 innings, a win, 9 Ks, a 1.5 ERA with a .67 whip, got the quality start. Yeah. Baltimore handled himself nice with 6 innings. 4 Ks, got the win through 6 with 3 ERA, .83 whip, like looking fantastic. Got lit up against the Yankees, who hasn't, second game of the year. And then he handled himself against the Cubs, even though he only got 1 strikeout. But Merrill Kelly is somebody that we can't sleep on either. I mean, he has proven himself to be a valuable pitcher. I think that he is somebody I definitely want on my teams, and I definitely want him, to come out and kind of perform for me. I think that we're owed that. Finally back from injury, and I think that we're ready to rock. Even last year, even though it was a 4.03 ERA, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't the whole story. And in 2023, he finished with a 3.29 ERA through 177 innings and had 187 strikeouts with a whip of 119. He does put up innings, and he's been good. Even in 22, 200 innings for a 3.37 ERA with 177 strikeouts. I'm excited to own him. Yes, he's on the older side. Yes, his breakout has come at a much older age. And how much longer can we really trust him? I don't know. But I want to find out. I want him on my team. He's only had 1 bad start this year. So if I don't get the K per inning, if I get a mid to low 3 ERA, I'm happy with it. If I get a 1.5 to a 1.2 whip from him, I'm happy. Look, he's a waiver wire pickup at 38% owned. You need to add him immediately. Pitching is very scarce out there right now. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not adding a guy that's out there performing right now. That's just my opinion. And you know what? Anything helps. Anything helps. A streamer, a good start, anything. And I think the matchup is pretty good too. He's going up against his next matchup, Philly. So that is not the greatest matchup, but you know what? I mean, he could get past Schwarber and Harper. I'm okay with it. Turner's been good, but we'll see. Merrill Kelly should be able to handle him. I may or may not start him depending on how my week is going. But that next start, I'm totally rolling him out. But if he handles himself against the Phillies, why won't you roll him out? Why not? It makes no sense. So we'll talk about We could talk about philosophy all day, but I'm adding him immediately. Coming up next, I got three more pitchers, three more awesome pitchers too. I think are going to be able to start this weekend, and you're gonna have to wait and find out right after this. Did you know that your Fire Stick is also an Xbox? I didn't. I'm super excited. Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV 4K device. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into your Xbox Game Pass Unlimited with an EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 2025 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed. As easily as they stream your favorite shows, it's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. The latest technology for elevated playing with Wi-Fi 6v6 and auto low latency mode, advanced technology. Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds you need to stay competitive. Endless entertainment with 4K streaming. Watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Head to the Amazon.com/Fire TV locked on to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, second gen, and Fire TV Stick 4K Max, first and second gen, and Fire TV Cube, third gen. Check it out today. Okay, we're back in it. Three more guys to go, and it's going to be a good one. So our next guy up is Jameson Taillon of the Chicago Cubs, 24% owned and looking pretty good. Only one bad start, in my opinion, and that was week one against the Diamondbacks. So we'll just ignore that and we'll keep going. The next week against the Athletics, 6 innings, win, 7 Ks, a 3 ERA with a 1.17 WHIP. Goes against the Rangers the next week, goes 6 Ks and a 4.5 ERA with a 1 WHIP. Goes against San Diego, goes 5.1 innings, 4 Ks, a 3.38 ERA with a .94 WHIP. Then against Arizona with a 6K game in 5 with a 1.8 ERA with a 1 WHIP. And then this last one against the Phillies didn't get many Ks, but went 70, 2 Ks, a 1.29 ERA with a .71 WHIP. Look, he's proven to be good. I've always liked him. He's always been a good streamer. When he's good and he's on it, he's worth an ad. I don't think he's really ever going to be, a K per inning. He's usually going to be about 25 to 30 under, if not a little bit more. But he's going to put up good statistics when he's on. Whip, he's never going to kill you on. ERA, he might in some games. He might have a blow up game or two. But Taillon is definitely somebody that I want on my team right now. I'm going to ride the locked in focus. No pun intended. Didn't mean to do a Freudian switch there, but I like it, and I'm in it. I think that at 33 years old, I'm excited to see what he can do. He's really just doing his thing right now. He's getting great movement on an off-speed pitch. He's getting great movement on his fastball. Fastball velocity is slower. He's never really been a true like knock your socks off kind of like fastball velocity guy. Sits at like 90, well, like right under it. Last time he had over a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, it was like 22. It's come down a little bit, but I think for the better. He's getting guys to chase quite often, just not getting the whiffs, which, hey, this is what we experience, but not really walking guys. And I just like to see him produce a little bit more ground balls, and then we can get out of those home run troubles and we can have a good time with him. He's already given up 5 home runs. There's been seasons where he's given up 21, 27, 26, 24 home runs in a single season, which is a lot. But I also think that he could figure that out with some suppression, create more ground balls. But right now, I'm going to ride that wave while he's focused and locked on in. And then we can go from there. The second he starts giving up or doesn't have a good matchup, you can move on from him. I don't think that he's like a guy you're going to hold on to long term, but maybe this next start coming up against um, Milwaukee, I'll probably roll him out there. I'm confident he can handle himself and keep those good numbers for us. So roll him out there. James Taillon, 24% owned, or Taillon, however you say it. Let's move on. Let's talk about Jordan Hicks of the San Francisco Giants going up against them Colorado Rockies. I love it. Hicks has been good so far as a streamer. I don't think he has long-term value. but I'm definitely willing to roll him out there against this. He's playing at home, not at not in Colorado, which is awesome. Him being 12% owned is a game changer, and I think he needs to be started. I mean, started and rolled out. He's playing on the third, which I believe is Saturday, and he's looking real good. He handled himself against the Rangers in 5 innings with 3 Ks and a 3.6 ERA with a 1.4 WHIP. Got lit up against Milwaukee, funny enough, but is what it is. And in Philly, but who hasn't? But you know what? He's been okay. 2 bad starts, 2 good starts. I'm going to roll him out against this team and see how it's going. But yeah, I think that Hicks should be added and streamed this weekend, especially against a really, really crummy Rockies team. So this next guy here, I think we also need to talk about. He's been good, not the best, but been good. Hayden Wesneski of the Houston Astros. So he's been pretty good. Last couple starts have been solid. You know, may not get you a K per inning, but still is handling himself well. Kansas City went 5, only got 1K, but a 3.6 ERA with a 1.6 WHIP. WHIP was a little high. Same thing in the San Diego matchup. 5 innings, 4Ks, 3.6 ERA with a 1.4 WHIP. But against the Angels, he handled them great, but the Angels like playing the Mariners. It is what it is. 6 innings, a win, 10 Ks, a 4.5 ERA with a 0.83 WHIP. And then Seattle handled himself really well through 7. So he's been good. If he gets a cupcake matchup, I'm going to roll him out there. And that's the part that I like. He's playing against the White Sox. And that is the part that I really like. The White Sox are another crummy team right now that even if Luis Robert gets hot, which it looks like he might be trending in that direction, I'm still not scared to roll him out there. Wesneski, I think, can handle himself. And the team behind him is really good. So I'm rolling him out there this weekend. Add him immediately. I can't believe he's only 29% owned. I've already added him and dropped him about 15 times this season. It's going to continue to add and drop all season long. So with that being said, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, do everything you can to share this show and more. And when you're done, check out our boy Stoli over at Locked On MLB, where he's put on a great show covering real live baseball every single day. That being said, guys, have a great rest of your day. Peace out.